Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tea Time. I just had a lesson in mic positioning and audio stuff that I may or may not talk about in a Tea Time sometime. This time we're going to talk about the Sandbox, but if you are hearing an increased quality in audio, say that you are hearing that. Or if it sounds about the same, say that. I'll be like an eye doctor. Better, worse, or about the same? Better, worse, like that. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what's going on. I'm trying to improve the audio quality. I was talking with JaKaTaKtv, and he gave me a couple tips. I'm trying them out right now. I have a pop filter, which you can see right there. I do not have a boom stand. I don't have a boom stand yet, so I can't get the positioning exactly the way I want it. I'm positioning things on top of books and Kleenex boxes, so hopefully it works. I'm also in dire need of a haircut. On to more important things. The Sandbox is changing. I haven't talked about the Sandbox in a long time. I sent out a massive email to all 100 plus people who applied to the Sandbox who I haven't got to yet. That's right, it's been 6 months and I haven't got to people who applied to the Sandbox, and it's always felt terrible, and there's always been a lot of stress for me being like, oh man, I really need to get to that. It's like something that's always sort of looming there that I need to get to. And I realized, I should have realized a long time ago, but in any case, better late than never, I realized that system is not effective. The way that we were doing it was people would send in an email with a short description of why they think deliberate practice is better than laddering. And then we'd use that to try to gauge, maybe ask some follow-up questions, weed out some people, and then, all right, okay, you know what, we're going to bring in these people and try to schedule an interview, which was awful. Then we had a Skype group, and we said, okay, instead of scheduling an interview, because Robert and I don't have a lot of time, we're just going to call for interviews in a Skype group. So stick around, flag the word interview, so when we say it, you'll be like, oh, okay, interview. Yeah, cool. And we were doing that for a while. And that was really... it was sort of time consuming and difficult, and it left all these players without people to practice with, and it was very slow. It was very, very slow. So I changed everything, and maybe it'll work. Trial and error. Hooray for trial and error. What we're going to do is what we have already done is that Skype group still exists, but it's called the Proving Grounds. I think the Proving Grounds is what we're going to call it. Or what I have called it so far. And basically, it's the Sandbox. It's the same kind of environment that the Sandbox is. There's a bunch of people in a Skype group talking about deliberate practice, doing deliberate practice, saying when they're doing deliberate practice, discussing different improvement techniques, and training together. So, that's good. And it's sort of like, I'm going to be overviewing that, and Robert's going to be overviewing that, and we're just going to be sort of watching it and trying to find the people, okay, this person's causing a problem, getting into an argument, this person's ego is very much inflated, and that is causing issues. This person's not open-minded, they're not listening to the ideas of other people, which is going to cause a problem. Because it's really difficult to see those things, and it feels really harsh to try and judge someone based on an email or a half an hour to an hour long interview, whether or not though they're going to be displaying those qualities in the group or how they're going to act once they're in the group. It's really difficult to tell. And I was actually talking to my mom, thank you mom, about this sort of issue. And I was like, man, it's really frustrating. I want to get everybody in the Sandbox immediately, but it's tough, blah, blah, blah. And she brought up the concept that's why a lot of people, a lot of companies rather, do temp to perm. So do temporary employment. All right, you're a temporary employee for 90 days, and then you become a permanent employee. And we kind of tried to do that for the Sandbox, and it became a little bit difficult because it's sort of like, okay, we have to be keeping up on how long people have been there, and we have to be paying really close attention to all of these players when they're in their trial period. So it's very time consuming, and if you didn't realize it already, I'm ridiculously, stupidly busy. I have 8 different projects that I want to do right now really badly, and I have to prioritize them because that's life, right? But it's... the Sandbox is lower and lower on that priority list, unfortunately, because it's sort of I don't get much back from the Sandbox as far as immediate gain. It's more of a, I think this is really great and I want it to happen kind of a thing. So unfortunately, projects like that have to get pushed to the back as far as time commitment goes. So I needed a way to have a low time commitment, but have it work out as good as possible for people who want to practice deliberately in StarCraft. And this is the compromise that I've sort of come up with, and that's it. So basically, I'll be able to see how people are interacting in the Proving Grounds, because that's going to be the same basic environment that's going to be in the Sandbox, except in the Sandbox there are a lot more rational people in there. There are a lot more people with really intelligent mentalities, really useful habits built up, and different things like that, and a very strong understanding of deliberate practice. And in the Proving Grounds, there's going to be a lot of problems, probably. And that's fine, because we can say, oh yeah, you're causing a problem. You're gone. Done. And that way there isn't this whole, because when we get someone set up in the Sandbox, there's a whole, long process we do to get them set up and all that stuff. It's not just, you're in the Skype group, done. It's very time intensive. So before we take that sort of step, and bring someone into the Sandbox proper, we have this Proving Grounds. And I've reached the point where I'm beginning to repeat myself. So I think I've said everything as a result. So if you're interested in joining the Sandbox, all you have to do is send me an email with JaKaTaKtv@gmail.com with your description of why you think deliberate practice is more effective than ladder. And if you do that, and you are demonstrating a strong understanding of the English language and a professional and a good attitude, and all stuff like that, we'll throw you into the Proving Grounds, and then you'll be able to prove yourself. If you do not demonstrate a strong understanding of, and ability to communicate in the English language, you will not be thrown into the Proving Grounds. If you don't have any idea what deliberate practice is, and you can't demonstrate what deliberate practice is in your email, you won't be put into the Proving Grounds. But for the most part, we're going to let a lot of people in. It's going to be pretty easy to get into the Proving Grounds. So that way you'll have more time to sort of show yourself. And for me, it's very not time intensive, because I can just be like, oh wow, this person is always up in the Proving Grounds, always training, always saying exactly what they're doing, always practicing deliberately, always looking for practice partners, helping people out. This person is going to have a positive effect if we bring them into the Sandbox, and then we will. Probably still going to have an interview, but it'll be a lot shorter, a lot less intense than it was before. And so less time consuming for me, better for everybody else. Awesome. So for tea times, what I'm going to do is switch things around a bit and always try to talk about the main topic first. So that way people who see the title will be like, oh, this is the main topic. And then afterward, I'll have updates and different things that are going on that I want to talk about. So we're going to do that now. Yeah. The video list is, I have I cleared my whiteboard. My whiteboard is over there. Cleared my whiteboard, and it is full of ladder analysis. So I'm doing a big analysis of the way the StarCraft 2 ladder system works, the way the Dota 2 lack of a ladder, it's just straight up MMR system, League of Legends, Hearthstone, probably going to check out Counter-Strike and a couple other ladders, maybe dip into conventional sports. Probably not though, because they don't really have the same an online ladder kind of a thing, and that presents a particular puzzle to solve, how to properly motivate people via a ladder, and give people a good game experience via a ladder online. So I'm doing that. I'm doing a video for the race swap mod, which is really cool. The guy doing the race swap mod, the Skunk, he's an MVP on the posting boards on Blizzard. You probably know him. He's in Green Post. It's a Green Post. He's just sent me a script, and he's like, "Hey man, can you read this script?" And I was like, "Yes." And then he's like, "Hey, do you want to just do the video stuff too, and put it on your YouTube channel?" And I was like, "Yes." Race swap mod is super cool. Really excited. The video's coming out really well. It's going to be done really short, and that's why I'm sort of doing that instead of the main projects, because I'll just be able to do it, get it done quick, and that way I keep the one video per week coming out, and that's really important, I found, because Challenge Accepted 2 tanked super hard. It was half as successful as far as views and minutes watched goes. It was half as successful as the first Challenge Accepted. So I'm wondering if that is because it wasn't as good. It just like the video quality was not as good, or something to do with subscribers. Like I waited too long to release a video. There were some like slightly over a week, never 2 weeks, but slightly over a week periods where I released videos, and I only released like a Brojack casts and a and a tea time in between, which are not particularly popular. So maybe I need to be releasing more popular videos more often, or could be a lot of different things. So let me know what you think. Why did Challenge Accepted 2 not perform well in comparison to Challenge Accepted 1? And it got about half. It was about half. Day 1 for Challenge Accepted 1 was about 4,500 views, and day 1 for Challenge Accepted 2 was slightly over 2,000. Yeah, so and also could be because like the hype is down, so it's sort of like, oh man, we really want Fun Day Monday back. We want Fun Day Monday back. It's like, oh okay, I'll do a Challenge Accepted. It's a little bit different, but maybe people want it, and people are like, yeah, this is great. And then sort of the hype dies down, and people are like, oh well, yeah, I guess it was all right, kind of a thing. We also have like a very low amount of replay submissions so far. I think we only have 4 replay submissions, and last time we had like, I don't know, 12 or so within the first day. And it may take a while to pan out or whatever it is, but I want to know your opinion, because you have made it this far in the video. Most people don't. Most people have hung up the phone by now, but you're still here. So that's why you are the special people. You are the core. You are the JaKaPack. I don't know if I like that word yet. I kind of like it. We're all dire wolves. We're all Starks. But I haven't gotten it to the end of Song of Ice and Fire series yet, so I don't know if I really want to represent Stark, yet. I'm also working on a video that is analyzing the concepts in depth of micro. So the first thing we'll be looking at is damage point. So that is the top right now. The most important video I have to make is that damage point video. And people have been talking about the return of Bronze Science. Bronze Science never really disappeared, but just sort of I never got to it. I'm thinking like 5 reasons, or like something like 5 ways you should show how your friends should play StarCraft, or something like that. Something like something to do with like the ways that people screw up in teaching people to play StarCraft and not being empathetic and not putting yourself in their shoes as far as execution goes, and just telling them, oh, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, and sort of overloading them with things. So Bronze Science is going to slip its way in there. People tend to like Bronze Science, especially with the failure of Challenge Accepted number 2. Hopefully Bronze Science can come in and save the day and be that sort of filler in between Challenge Accepted episodes. Not filler, but I mean, you know what I mean. It fills the gap. It is in between Challenge Accepted episodes and performs highly, I hope. Might be doing some fast facts stuff too, not 100% sure, but yeah. So that is... Oh, I'm also still working on... Also still working on the guide with HTO Mario. It's been really back burner for me. A lot of my new job that I can't talk too much about, but I will be able to talk about in the future, has been really draining on my time. So it's been really difficult to get things done in the normal way that I get them done, which is fine because I'm getting paid from my new job. So I don't need it as much, but it still hurts me to not get projects done, especially the HTO Mario one, because it's really cool. It's just very time intensive for me to like really get a strong enough understanding of it to organize the information in a way that communicates the information well and stuff like that. So thank you for tuning in, hanging out, etc. Hopefully this won't have to be too edited, but it's probably going to have to be edited pretty significantly. See you later.